There's so much discussion these days about what to do when a child is dysregulated and how to help them in their dysregulation. So much so that sometimes we can get caught in wanting to know which intervention at which moment and what's the checklist of possibilities and trying to, fill our ideas of, well, maybe this would work, or maybe this would work, or maybe this would work. And I'm not saying that that's all not helpful, but there is something else that we can look at that maybe takes the mystery out of trying to figure out what to do in the moment, takes the mystery out of it just a little bit more. And what I'm talking about is learning to observe the child's innate wisdom. So every child has their own way of naturally regulating. They have their own thing that their bodies need. And when we can take the time to thoughtfully observe a child at a deeper level, we can get the clues about what that might be. So for example, do you know that when this child gets dysregulated, they tend to isolate and want to go hide and take space? Do you know if this child, when they get dysregulated, they tend to want to go, squeeze themselves into a corner or wrap themselves in a blanket because what they're trying to do is actually bring in contact and connection in some way? Is this a child, when they get dysregulated, they go turn music on? Do they go do art? Do they go move their bodies? How do they move their bodies? All of these things we can really start to get curious about, because when the child becomes dysregulated, this is really what we can pull from, so that we're not guessing, could this work? Might this work? Might this be helpful? We already know it's probably going to be helpful because it's their innate wisdom. It's what their body naturally does. And so from that perspective, we take the guesswork out of it and turn more into a guide of reflecting back to the child, hey, here's your wisdom. Here is how you get back to yourself. And how can we then bring those in to really support the child in returning here? So next time you are having a moment when you're with a dysregulated child going, what do I do? Get curious about, what do I know about this child? And if you don't know a lot about this child, what can you do to spend time really learning more about this child so that in these moments, you know what to grab? Because again, you're not the one guessing, you're just grabbing what's actually innately brilliant already about the child's own regulation style.